Welcome to Watches in Rome.
Okay guys, I'm already flabbergasted. As you know, Marlon De Simone from Watches in Rome is a true gentleman and a legend in the scene of the vintage Rolex, vintage Audemars Piguet. We have some Omegas here, but the hard task is, I told you, you can only choose 10 watches.
You told me, will be possible, don't worry.
Otherwise it would be a 4 or 5 hour video.
No, we're hungry.
We're hungry. The collection review will start in a beautiful location, so stick around to see 10 of these gems, but you gotta pick it out first, man.
Of course, we take 10.
Bravo. Welcome guys, we're sitting on the rooftop in Rome. Things could be worse than sitting here with Mr. Marlon. And
Maybe the weather could be worse.
The weather could be worse. Well, Amsterdam, it rains a lot. I will start by introducing the watch I'm wearing myself, which is a watch that you actually inspired me to buy. Because I saw your 6541. That's my phone, I'm sorry. I saw your 6541, and then I fell in love with the watch. So I'm wearing my 6541, and it is a tropical dial, no loom. Pretty cool piece.
Super cool.
I'm humbled.
Mine was not tropical.
Your wasn't tropical, but it was in pristine condition. You still have it, right? I saw it laying at the store.
I still have it. Yes.
You didn't bring it though.
We didn't. No, you told me to choose only 10 of them. So
It's hard.
was not in the top 10. Sorry.
What are we going to start with?
So let's start with the vintage Rolex sports model. That is my really passion since my beginning when I start collecting and selling watches. And we start with 6242 backlight tropical. This is actually, to my opinion, the best one ever seen in my life. With this caramel dial and untouched condition. Comes from the second owner because I bought from her dealer, but she bought from the first one. And it's, I don't know, I fell in love with this watch.
The 6542 is also one of my favorite watches, mainly because its bezel is so special, huh? The backlighted.
Of course.
To have it in uncracked condition is something I've rarely seen. I myself cracked once a bezel.
That's
and
hard.
Serjan, you know Serjan World Time? He also
of
cracked
course.
one. So this one is still uncracked, so that is very special.
Let's keep it like this, please.
You don't trust me anymore now.
No, of course I trust you, the word.
But the dial, the caramel dial, that is crazy. I love how the radium makes this dial look beautiful.
Yes,
Wow.
it's amazing.
Wow. How long do you have it for?
This is actually 4 years. Was just before COVID I bought it. So 3.5, 4 years. And he's perfect matching with another one that is in my heart. That is the Big Crown Tropical 4-line.
We have a lot of radium here, though.
Yes, of course. But we are open, so...
How come your hair isn't green yet if you're walking around with these watches?
And this one also has a nice story. Because this watch was first coming in auction with Sotheby's in New York.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my best customer and friend from Australia, he would like to buy it. And I also would like to buy the watch. So I said, okay, look, you will buy the watch, you will enjoy, and then when you want to sell, you sell to me. I said, yes, of course, I will do that like that. But unfortunately, he didn't do it like that. He put it in auction again. And I bought that Philips. But at the end, I will get the watch.
So you paid a little premium on it the second time?
Much more than the premium, but it's worth it.
The combination, 6542 and 6538 together, that's massive. Also, again, the bezel condition is very special to me.
Yes.
Because these red triangle bezels are oftentimes more tarnished and a little bit faded.
Yes.
But this came in pristine condition and it looks like it just left the factory, except for, of course, the tropical dial. But the case also, it's...
You know,
Wow.
Artisan de Genève, they made like a new model that was inspired by that watch.
By this specific piece?
Yes, it's you get the picture from the catalog from Philips. But then I was speaking with them. They said, yes, it's the same watch. They would like to make like a explosion with the watch, but then we never did it.
Incredible. Is this your favorite Submariner reference, 6538?
No.
You have another one, right?
Yes. This is my favorite one. That is a little bit later, but the 369 makes all the difference. This one is like from the really first owner, with the underline, double Swiss, silver printing.
It's like 1962?
Yes, late 62, beginning 63 probably. With original crystal that, I don't know, maybe this crack make the temperature or whatever inside that doesn't make the dial fading, because it's 10 on 10.
Yeah,
I will never change
gloss. The gloss is still perfect.
Yes. It comes with the box paper never. And this watch was discovered by my brother Julian in a small auction house in the north of England. That was just the description was just Rolex Submariner, £1,000 starting. So my brother went there, and in the auction was just another people that knew that watch was worth much more. He also was a dealer from California, and so we was talking with him and say, look, let's buy the watch together, and then we find a solution between us. And we paid £200,000 for it at that time.
So you partnered it with him?
Yes. And then we sit and we start, okay, 205, 210, and finish with a very big number. But I could not leave that watch. It's my favorite watch ever. If I could choose only one watch in my life, it would be that.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the trickiest questions. A lot of people have a hard time answering that. Even though I saw many crazy Submariners in your office, like the 5517 you didn't bring.
Yes,
You have some Comex watches too?
actually not.
That's not your
I
thing?
used to.
Yeah.
I love them when I have the orange patina. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it looks too plain to me.
Well, aesthetically, a 369 Submariner is the epitome of a Rolex tool watch. And I preferred over, for example, the Comex logo, which in fact is pretty ugly.
Of course.
Like, aesthetically, this is one of the best Submariners.
Similar.
Yeah, yeah.
And the thing of this is that, I don't know, I like it more than the crown, even if it has the 369. I don't know. The case looks more, the shape is more ergonomic.
Yeah.
You have not
Yeah.
the feeling of the crown that is falling out and whatever.
It's more sporty, actually.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
For me, it's the perfect size, perfect whatever. It's perfect watch.
So, I've never seen on the table a 6542, a 6538, and a 369 Submariner alongside a 6541, if I may join the party.
Of course, you can.
That wasn't
Yes,
on
put on the table.
during an auction. That wasn't during an auction. I've never seen this in one collection. So I'm humbled to have these watches. Already I can see a lot of oyster bracelet laying there.
Yes,
So-
of course. And then also the watches that we cannot talk about is Daytona, and especially Paul Newman. So we have three here. It's really special ones. All are different but special condition. We can start from the one to me that looks better. It's the combination of the white dial with the red. It is a Musketeer dial on a 6264 case. Actually, I think there are really like 5 known in the world. And this one is, as you can see, unpolished and I don't know, 10 on 10 die.
Because I saw Julian posting the Musketeer, I think 2 or 3 days ago.
Yes, exactly.
And I was seriously hoping this watch would be in Rome to see this in the flesh. I've never held a 6264 Musketeer in my life with the white dial. The red print is very crisp.
Yes. Like, you know, the Musketeer dial, usually when you see also in the black one,
Yeah.
are usually really in good condition. The red is really crisp and shiny and nice. In the white, you can see even more.
This really pops.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
does. All the loom cloths are still intact.
And the case is unpolished. No, it's a watch that comes, you know, usually these dials, a lot of people talking, you move, you change. But when you find this condition, the bezel, the case, the dial, you know that it's bored together, and this is a keeper.
And we were talking with some watch guys yesterday. Rome is the capital of the Daytona. So I'm happy to see 3 of them laying here. All Paul Newmans, I have to say.
Yeah.
Do I spot an Oyster Soto over there?
Yes. This is Oyster Soto Mark I with a tropical dark brown dial, and also unpolished with all the loom intact, original crochet.
Guys, please be silent. We're talking about an RCO.
They get
the
hungry.
birds.
They don't need to get hungry. But in Amsterdam, it should be the same. No,
We have only pigeons. They don't make
Okay.
that much noise.
No, they eat the pigeons. Trust me, it's true. This is, I don't know, if you should have one white and one black, this is the
Perfect
common.
combination.
This is the common.
And the oyster sotto is especially important for the Italian collectors, by Americans more dubbed like the RCO. But I like the sotto more. It
Sotto
sounds
is
more,
much-
more charismatic.
Yes, of course. Alcyon looks like a medicine.
So how long have these watches been in your collection?
So this one I get in trade for the most beautiful watch I ever sold in my life. That's a 6263 Daytona Paul Newman Legend in gold. And I get this one in trade. So it's from 5 years actually.
And the legend you sold, do you regret it, or?
Of course.
But even though this watch came back for it.
Yeah, of course. But you know, I would like to keep everything. For me, it's much more difficult selling than buying. So in this case, I'm regretting because I know it's really difficult to find another one, and for me, it's probably impossible to find another one in that condition. But I'm happy to have.
Now a watch that I have some experience with, because to be honest, I've never held or I've never traded an RCO or a Musketeer dial. But the JPS, we've sold twice.
Yes.
This one has a lot of case patina, right?
Yes, of course. This is, you can see that it's really like looks like mostly dark black or dark gunmetal on one side. It's a beautiful also aging also the dial that is a little bit more warm than the usual. You see a little bit more dark yellow, and comes also with original bracelet and whatever. You can see the patina matching bracelet and case that is making him more attractive.
The power of the JPS is just so strong. If you hold that watch, everybody knows, even though they're not watch guys, this is a special piece.
Yes, of course.
For an RCO, it's a niche thing, you know. If already you had like 10 Paul Newmans, then you will maybe buy a
not
Oyster
your first.
Sotto. It will not be your first.
Of course.
But this watch has such an attraction to everybody. Even the first time I showed it to my girlfriend, she was like, wow, that's a special piece.
And
And
taste.
yeah, for sure. Therefore she's with me, yeah.
Of course.
But this case is adding a lot to the charm.
Yes. I love that.
You made me go silent.
Me too. I was contemplating the watch.
But a watch like this, the problem is if you ever sell it, it's so hard to get one back that's in similar shape, similar charm.
That's why I try to sell only to my private customer collector that I know that if one day they would like to sell back, they can sell to me.
Yeah, it will always be close by.
Will be like in my range again. Otherwise, I could put in the auction and we get more money, but I will lose the watch forever.
You will never see it again, probably. Yeah.
So I try to keep it in my range.
So most of your clients are also like true collectors?
Yes. I mostly work only with collectors. It's not more like investor. Most of them are really collectors that love the watches like I do. And it's easier, you know, because you talk in the same language.
Yeah.
You have not to explain the value, you have to explain just the rarity or the beauty of the watch. And then you will find the point.
Because the first watch I ever bought from you, a 6611B with a black dial and very special bracelet, that watch is also still in my collection.
Of course.
So that's cool to
I
see.
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to hear.
My father picked it up, I think, like 6 years ago. And he picked it up in Rome. And I'm still, every time I see the watch, I'm still very charmed by the watch. Of course, it's a different level than a JPS. But
Collected.
it's the thing that it gives you the emotion when you see the watch. It's incredible. And especially I have that because it's yellow gold with black dial. I have a thing for that.
So it's a JPS.
The JPS is but yeah, well, I wish I can say that. But therefore the JPS is also so very dear to me because just aesthetically, colorway is incredible. Of course, the race car already had that colorway,
Yes, of course.
and therefore it's nicknamed the JPS. But I really feel that watch is one of the most special pieces in Rolex history.
Yes, I'm true. I completely agree.
Incredible to have 3 of these side by side. And even you left a couple Paul Newmans back in the office.
I have some, yes, of course.
This is why I love Italian.
So which one you would like to, if you have to choose one polymer, which one would be your?
So since I had the JPS already a couple times, and for 2 watches I rather go for steel, my choice would be the Musketeer because it displays most depth in the dial. It really pops off, especially the white one.
Yes.
That's just very special to have an MK1 like that. And the RCO, of course, it's maybe even more coveted in auctions with the oyster sotto and everything. But for me, aesthetically,
I agree with you.
Musketeer.
And for me, it would be the same, as I did the same.
Right?
Yeah.
And you're also a big royal oak collector, I believe.
Yes. I started my collection with, like, casually, because a friend of mine asked me to buy for him the Happy Fish, that is the chrono in titanium with the blue dial with the yellow index. I said to him, look, it's not a nice watch. It's ugly. Don't buy it.
Why do you want it?
And he said, no, I like. I said, okay, maybe I will find. I found one after 2 months, and I bought it, convinced that he was related to buying. Then I went back to him and said, look, this is the watch. I said, but you told me to don't buy it. I want it. And so I was saying, I have this watch now, what to do? I was wearing for full the summer, 3 months, and after I fell in love with the Royal Oak. And so I started collecting Royal Oak by mistake, but was a good mistake.
That's also fun, because I oftentimes have that I dislike a watch, but then you buy it, and then you test yourself out, and then in the end, after 1 or 2 weeks, you can't go without it.
Yes, of course.
But are you more of a Royal Oak guy or a Nautilus guy?
Royal Oak.
Yeah?
Definitely Royal Oak. I like the shape much more. I find it much more interesting. You know, with all the faces of the bezel, we have so many opportunities about dials, about complication that Nautilus you don't have, or maybe you have, but all in the new one.
Yeah, on the old ones you only have like 3700 and 3800, and that's it. Yeah.
Then we have Sword or Money, but it's finishing, no?
Yeah.
In the Royal Oaks you have so many, and then the sides for me it looks perfect and match perfectly the wrist. The Nautilus, I've always like feeling it's not really like my size of my wrist.
So the 5402 is the watch you would go for over a 3700, for example.
Of course.
Yeah.
Then if you have special one, even better.
Because I see you're wearing one with a Kanjar logo.
Yes.
I believe, is it a unique piece?
Not unique piece. Actually,
because one sold in auction, right?
Yes.
Is that this one?
This is the one from the auction.
Okay. Yeah.
This is one from the 50 years Philips auction.
Yeah. Exactly.
And I knew there are other 2.
Okay.
And a bit more probably, but I knew 3 in the market, in the watch world.
Yeah.
And these are A series, so it's a first series, and it's made with a special die that is plain, without the tapisserie, and with a diamond index. So it's a really special watch that was sold by Asprey. So
because the Kanjar logo 5402s are the only ones without the tapisserie dies, right?
Well,
yes. And the diamond markers are a nice addition to it.
Yes. Usually the diamonds you can find only on the white gold version. Yeah. But in this case, it's the only still one with the diamond index. And I don't know, it's usually it's weird when you see a dial that is with the tapisserie and one not. In this case, it looks amazing to me.
It's true.
Because with the tapisserie, the Kanjar will print it not so.
It will look ugly.
Yes, I agree.
The 5402 is one of the most coveted references from the last, let's say, 2 or 3 years. Of course, Audemars Piguet made a giant leap in popularity. Yes. But the 50-year anniversary auction was also for me a staple to see all these different variants that we talked about that you lack a little bit in the Nautilus collection. You have some with diamonds or a diamond bezel or anything, but it's a little bit more condensed. It's a little bit cleaner.
Yes, that's true. And the thing is that it's nice that you can see, salmon dial, blue dial, black, white, brown.
1 second. Let's start with the salmon dial, the Cajun Perpetual.
It's nice, the jumping that the color they makes, you know.
What's it, F Klein?
This is F Klein. But let's start with the salmon. This is a salmon, the platinum, and it's not the first series because it has also the lap year indication. But they never made salmon with platinum without the lap year, so it's the only one platinum that could have the salmon dial. And I'm a big fan of the salmon dial.
Yeah, so it's slightly later because you see also the capitalized A and P in the logo. And the leap year indication, but the heft on this watch is crazy. With platinum, it always surprises me.
And with Nautilus, it's difficult to find the platinum too.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. Salmon is usually combined with platinum, obviously, but also the color combination just works well. Huh?
Yes, it's great. It's amazing. And my first important Royal Oak was a steel perpetual first series with a salmon dial. It's the only
25654?
Yes. Yeah. Full set, sold in Rome, bought from the first customer here in Rome for 17,500 euros.
What year was that though?
Was 7 years ago.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
Same price as a regular one, huh?
This is such a nice watch to wear. I love the heft on platinum pieces. Can I see it next to the Yves Klein? Is it a 14802?
Yes, this is the Jubilee model.
Yeah.
And actually, I only make a big research about this watch, and I only find two. This and another one. That is one number next to that one. All the other one that you see with the Yves Klein usually is 36 millimeter. This is the one with 39 millimeter.
So they have subsequent serial numbers.
Yeah.
Maybe special order or whatever.
I don't know. I saw only another one.
Does it, what do you know what dial code it has on the extract, like the last number?
I think it's a 3.
A 3. This is crazy. This color is, look at this, this duo together.
With the Nautilus, you can never have something like that. That's the thing that makes me so attracted by Royal Oak.
So both the salmon color as well as the Yves Klein blue are, I think, the most popular colors in the last 2-3 years, alongside green additions, of course. But historically speaking, these colors are more important than green.
Yeah,
right?
of course.
Green is just a hype from the last couple of years.
This is because, I don't know, probably Arabs have the green inside their culture, so they make the market with the green. But otherwise, because something that historically, it's coming from an artist. And
this one is like salmon is usually preserved for special editions or platinum pieces.
Something from the Art Deco design. You know? So it's something that it comes since the beginning of the watch's story.
Incredible. So you're also a fan of the modern AP lineup?
Some of them, yes. I'm honest.
Because they have a lot of variants, and many I dislike, but there are also a lot of new watches from Audemars Piguet that I really like. And with the Nautilus, it's just, for me, it doesn't really move me. I like the 5712. That's a cool piece for me.
The only one that I like.
Yeah. Also,
it has a slimmer. By one of the first pin golds, 5712, coming out, was fantastic.
Yeah, but
after
the
1 week,
color is also dope.
But after 1 week, you feel that
no more charm.
No more charm. With that, I never get. I can wear every day.
And the AP down?
AP down is first series, A serial, with a tropical dive that looks bronze. In unpolished condition from the first owner. Also, a nice story that was from a Venezuelan guy, architect, that was in Rome with the family. He just walked in by my shop and said, "Look, I have this watch." I knew that they now have a lot of market and they are much more.
It just passed by the store casually with wow.
And so again, this is in my collection. This is my A series.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
The discoloring on the tapisserie dials are also cool, because if you see it with the loop, you can still see the blue underneath, but the top of the tapisseries are turning brown, and that
makes it deeper.
Yeah, it's so much depth to the dial. And to be honest, I also feel like a Royal Oak is a cool watch for an architect, because of course you see like geometrically and all the shapes. This is the perfect piece. Yeah, this is good. And it's like a little bit of dégradé, right? So on the outside of the dial, it's
be
like a
never be
vignette.
like all the same.
No. Yeah.
It should be always like a little bit. Some places more, some places less.
Nice number. This is good.
This is also a nice number for the car collector. Unfortunately, not mine, because it's a 996.
That's dope.
993. But I know the other one that I know is 997.
You're a Porsche guy?
I'm a little Porsche guy. Heathel.
Why does every watch dealer likes Porsches?
I don't know, probably there is some matching between the...
I think so, huh?
Much more than Ferrari.
So, the Conjure Crest, these ones are also supplied by Asprey, right?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
That was... I make a study about that. It's not Asprey that you find in London. That, like, everybody was thinking that was sold through London. But Asprey has an office inside the Port Franco of Geneva.
Okay.
So that's the way they was delivering the watch to money. Not by the shop, but by the office that is inside the Porto Franco in Geneva.
Honestly, I also thought the same goes for Rolex.
Yes, the same with the Rolex.
Because I also thought those Aspreys just came from the Asprey in London.
No, of course, that's not true.
That's interesting. The 5402 with the AP down and the discolored tapisserie, that is a grill watch for me. And the first time I sold it, I regretted it very much because 5-6 years ago the prices were different. So it's, I think, 35 or 40K. Yeah. And ever since I'm trying to find one to add to my personal collection, But it's getting subsequently harder and more expensive to get those
That's
pieces.
true. And this is not for sale. So I cannot help it.
I
Sorry.
wanted to make
This
a
is
deal
in
in front of the
collection.
camera. Why you do that to me, man?
I can find you one. I can find you one. I don't know where they are.
Thank you. No, also I'm humbled to see all these watches. I think, as I said, we could make a video lasting 4 hours, but it might be cool to make a second video in a couple years or so
Of course. Why
to
not?
see how the collection changed. But you also like to stick to your watches, right? You don't sell the
Yes.
special pieces that often or that easy.
Exactly. For me, something that I like to build collection.
Yeah.
My customers. So when I find a new customer that is really interested in watches, not just interested in the hype or interested in the value, then I can sell my watches. So this is the case that maybe I tell him, look, if you buy this one, you have to buy also this, but not because I'm trying to force,
No.
because I try to keep it together.
Mhm.
Because for me, I see the sequence,
Yeah.
one watches with the other, and I like
sense.
that the customer can feel my passion and understand it and enjoy the same as I'm enjoying the watches.
No, I have the same thing. So when I sell a watch, it sometimes pains me to let it go. But if I know it will find a good home and I source the client also, let's say, instead of sourcing the watches, you can be happy it's now in a collection where it belongs. Whilst if I'm just in a shop and somebody walks by and they say, oh, well, I want to buy your 6541. I'm like, no, I'm not going to sell it regardless of the price. So that is also an important thing of the emotion of the watches.
Yes, it's
Right.
true. It's true. And we are lucky because we are doing the job that we are able to sell these watches easily, everyone.
Yeah,
So we can choose.
correct.
That's the most important thing
Yeah.
that makes me happy to do this job and to have like great people around, great customers that are also friends.
Yeah, but you also have a good team with it's a family company.
It's a family company.
Yeah,
Now it's coming also my brother to join us. Huh?
to have some wines
Yes,
with
of
us.
course.
Thank you so much for your hospitality, first of all, the fun, the wine, but most importantly, the watches that are in front of us. I'm grateful to see these pieces because I can tell you, this is like the Louvre on the table. So if you go to the Louvre, you cannot touch the Mona Lisa. Here you can have it in your hand. So that is very special to me, and I'm sure the viewers will really enjoy it too.
I just back from Paris. It was last weekend, and I went to the Louvre, and I went to see the Mona Lisa. There was 100 people waiting
Exactly.
to make one picture.
To make one picture. Here we have it in our hand. So to me, that's very special. So I really, really enjoy it. Make
Happy
sure,
to have you here.
thank you so much. Make sure you follow Marlon De Simone on Instagram. If you're looking for very special Paul Newmans, for example, he's the guy to go to. Subsequently, you can check out his website, Watches in Rome. And whenever you're around Italy and you're mentioning watches, his name will pop up eventually, right?
Maybe. Yes.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Let's
you,
enjoy
man.
some wine. We'll wait for your brother, and
course.
we might get a tan because the sun is over there.
You're ready.
He's always brown.
Friends already proud.
Thank you so much, man.
Thank you.
Wow. Wow, 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 wow. Thank you, man. Wow, wow. Seriously, this is, for me, this is very special. This is very, very special.